So if you look here, we've got a standard kind of WSOP payout structure, which is relatively top heavy. And we've also got a very steep stack size structure. We've got 12 big blinds all the way up to 137 big blinds. So that's why we've got stuff like these 18, 19% risk premiums popping up, right? These premiums are really high. You've got some significant imbalances in terms of how much of a risk premium each player has against each other. Obviously, the middle stacks are under a ton of pressure against the big blind. Everybody has this huge risk premium against the big blind, except for the 12 big blind stack here. But they're also under a good amount of pressure against each other, right? So even small blind versus under the gun, for example, they have very similar stacks and they have 13, 14% risk premiums against each other. It's a scenario where this really does become one of those situations where everybody's kind of waiting out the short stack, right? Everybody's kind of waiting for the short stack to bust. And the big blind, in this case, the chip leader, gets to really apply a lot of pressure as a result. Now, if we sort of fold it around here, Shundan Xiao has queen jack off. What do you think of the fold in this spot? We don't have a sim to compare it to, but what do you think of the fold of queen jack?
I think I actually like it a lot. I think when there's someone super short, particularly in late position, I think with collision effect, we kind of just want the button and big blind to just go at each other a little bit. Because I think button's probably going to be jamming pretty close to chip EV, I would imagine. So maybe 30% of hands at 12 bigs, maybe a little bit less.
I mean, they still have, if you look at their premium, button still has a 7.5% against big blind. So they're not like under no pressure at all, but you're absolutely right. I think that hijack has to be quite tight here because there's that added collision effect. Specifically, what I mean about the collision effect is that not only are we dealing with the fact that we have to open into the chip leader's big blind and he's not going to fold a lot, we're also dealing with the fact that when we fold, there's 3 players that could potentially get into a confrontation against the chip leader, right? So in this particular spot, the actual, even though the risk premium itself wouldn't change, we would still be in a different scenario because if the chip leader wasn't the big blind, we probably would be fine with opening this. But because the chip leader is the big blind, there's all sorts of different ways that a player can bust here. It can just be 9s against ace king against the cutoff. Like cutoff has 9s, big blind has ace king and they just get it in. That can just happen so easily. So there's just a bunch of different reasons for hijack to be folding a bit more here.